Last week we talked a little bit about the SMART acronym, which has been one of the basic ones, has been known for decades. It's all about simplicity, but having a couple of key measurement areas in it, along with a timetable, basically a deadline to add urgency to the back end. Otherwise, you'll sit on it forever, the way you have forever. But there's a couple of things I want to add to it, and hopefully, you were able to spend some time jotting down some of the things that you want to accomplish. Because there's no way that you will ever accomplish anything unless you think about it and jot it down. And that's just the reality of it. Heck, I learned from Brian Tracy over 25 years ago. And even when I first sold books door to door during my college years, working 80 hours a week for 2 summers, the training they took us to in Nashville, Tennessee, on the way to the Northeast states where I would live with a couple of other guys and literally working 80 hours a week. Um, it was the aspect of goals, jotting down some things that you want to see as the outcome. And Brian Tracy was real clear about this back then, that hey, if you don't jot it down, if you don't write it down, you are almost sabotaging, pulling the rug from underneath yourself before you even crank the engine. That's why the exercise last week of you jotting it down, again, take 10 minutes, take a whole hour, whatever you're able to, and just dump everything that comes to your mind that you want to accomplish by the year. And again, real time, we're early in 2023. We're 11 and a half months to go to see what we actually can accomplish. But a couple of things I want to add in this conversation is the ability to accomplish your goal and the willingness. And of course, you already know which one is the key that will really, really give you success. But first, you have to deal with the ability. And listen, at any time in my life, I could have wanted to become a basketball player, but I don't have the ability. Not only do I lack the height, I know, simple example, but these other mechanisms in my structure simply do not allow me to be a really good basketball player. And I'm just throwing basketball because it has a lot to do with height. Now, soccer, which is the one that I grew up with, I did pretty well in soccer. Actually, I was invited to try out for the Olympic team in the mid 80s, the U.S. national team, not the Olympic, the U.S. national team. But I was not able because, hey, reality was I was not even a citizen or a resident in the country yet. Therefore, I did not qualify. So that quickly, scratched that out. I was not able to. But there were other things. The whole point is that anytime you set a goal, you have to ask yourself, are you able to? Are you able to take the time? Are you able to have the resources? Are you able to devote yourself? Mechanisms, not so much internal, but more external. Are there any external forces that will keep you from being able to give it an effort? So are you able to? And simply be honest, in company-wise, okay? You're at 1 million, you're at 5 million. You want to grow the company. Are you able to muster up everybody in order to accomplish these things? So you're able to have the meetings, so you're able to strategize with them. Are you able, again, looking at outside forces, does the market have anything to do to prevent you from it? Relationships with vendors, with third parties, any legal issues that will prevent you from accomplishing some of the things that you want to. And so the more that you look at the ability as the external forces that will keep you from it, the more that you're honest with yourself whether you can actually pursue the goal. The second one, though, is a willingness, and that's more of the internal force within you. Are you willing, bottom line, to pay the price? Okay? Remember, you said 2 weeks ago you were determined to become healthy, to lose some weight. Now we've gone at it for 2 weeks already. Today's the 13th in real time of January. And we've all been at it for 2 weeks. And already we can look back and say and see whether we have been willing to do something about the things we're going to do something about. The reality is that honesty comes from the past. Behavior never lies. So what does our behavior say about our willingness to achieve certain goals? So if we have watch our eating, if we have cut down on the sugars, the processed meats, the desserts, if we have drank more water, if we have slept more, then if we have achieved some of those things in the last 2 weeks, then heck yes, we are on track of being the 9% who will actually achieve the goals and get to the finish line come December 31st of 2023. Keep in mind also that by the end of this month, in 17, 18 days, 62% of us who started when that gun went off will drop out of the race. Literally, in a month's time, 2/3 of us will simply say, no, we're not going to even attempt it. And most of the time, and most of them, and most of you in our past, most of us, have simply not asked the honest questions, am I able to, and am I willing? So if you will put this in the exercise and simply take time to have the conversation with that fellow in the mirror and ask him, are you able to? Look at objective matters. Second, are you willing to? And that's where nobody else can help you with that. Only you. And yes, you can mimic, you can fake it, you can lie to yourself for a little while. But it's better if you don't. It is better if you simply say, you know what, I'm not willing to do that I need to do in order to accomplish that goal. Well, if that's the case, then don't drop out of the race. Simply adjust the goal. Give yourself hope. Give yourself hope, because motivation, I believe, it is best said by looking at the past and the things that you have done. If you look back at the past and you say, you know what, back 7 years ago, I let go of it and I reached a weight that was just unbearable. It was just extremely unhealthy. And I determined myself to lose 30 pounds. And in 4 months' time, I lost 30 pounds. And you actually did that. And if you can look back and say, you know what, I have done that, then that's motivation. That is solid fuel to get your engine going, whereby you can now say, you know what, okay, I'm 15 pounds off. Let's give it an effort. And let's do some things. Let's blitz it for the next 3 months, maybe for the next month. And let's do something about that. All right. You know what? Our business is not where I want it to be, but it is here. You've been at it for 6 years. You have accomplished some things. You have gone through obstacles that are simply, it would have sunk many other companies and many other individuals, but you are still here. Now, you're still not where you want to be at, but you can look back and say, you know what? I birthed something out of nothing, and it is here, and now I have 7 employees. Now I have 19 employees. Now I have 27 employees. Now I'm at 500,000. I'm at 12.5 million. Let's really analyze the ability that we have. Let's fortify the pillars of what we have in our company. And let's ask ourselves a question, okay? Are we willing to take it further? And that's the exercise for right now. So give that a shot. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to look back at the Rockefeller habits. And the latest one that we've all heard of in the last couple of years, because there's a new book called Atomic Habits. And there are excellent points to draw from each of those systems and some other ones. And I'll share them with you so that keep in mind, the more that we are engaged in this conversation, then the more that we will position ourselves to actually achieve at least some of the goals that we have in mind. So do not give up, okay? Put the towels aside, look at your mirror and say, damn it, I've done some stuff in the past. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to stay engaged, and I'm going to give it everything that I can right now for the next few weeks. And I'll see you in the next one.